welcome to our audience for LitFest. And today we have a wonderful interview with a sister who we've known, alhamdulillah, estranging for a few years now, right? SubhanAllah,
Yes.
you wrote in our anthology and she's done so many anthologies herself.
Yes.
And was it you wrote in Poetic Justice, right?
Yes, exactly.
Specifically?
Yes.
Yes, yes. Amazing, mashallah. And we're so happy to have you on today. And we're going to be
Thank you
talking
for
about
having
so
me.
many things.
Yes.
Sister, could you briefly introduce yourself, please, to our audience?
Okay, thank you very much, Sister Aisha. Assalamualaikum warahmatullahi wabarakatuh, everyone. My name is Asqarini. People call me Aska. I am a poet, a writer, and also founder of Writing for Happiness, which is an online writing community from Jakarta, Indonesia. I help millennials to master anxiety and stress through my creative writing program. So basically, I give or I share and also teach writing technique in journaling and writing poetry and also short story. That's all.
MashaAllah. That's amazing. So what you do is you create something almost like a therapeutic solution for people to regulate their emotions, right? Especially the
Yes,
harsh
exactly.
emotions like
Yes.
anxiety. So how have you found how have you found personally the way that works with impacting those who come to your program? Like, how is that for you?
Mhm. Well, basically because it all started when I was in my teenage years. So I usually get used to doing journaling. So back then I was really kind of like a reserved person, kind of type of person, and then quite difficult to express my feeling verbally. So I find out that journaling really helps me to express my feelings. So but the first experience is actually because I like to poetry reading, like a declamation of poetry. So
Mm.
I found lots of joy and excitement when doing so. And then eventually I created both of the journaling and also the activities of writing poetry as a therapeutic ways for me to express my feeling and then to release all of the negative emotion in myself. So by that, I kind of like start earlier than other students, perhaps my friends at school. And then it helps me to be a better communicator. So that's why I want these experiences, other people to feel the same way. So that's why I decided I give sharing or I give mentoring for those who wants to learn how to do journaling and also how to write poetry or short story, sister.
Amazing, mashallah. So your mode of expression initially, you said it was poetry, right?
Yes, exactly.
Poetry.
Yes.
Perfect. And
Mhm.
is there any specific kind of poetry that inspired you to go that route, or was it something personally you wanted to try out?
Well, I think it's more like a freestyle poetry because I don't want to limit myself from expressing something. So because as previously I've mentioned that I use poetry or I use journaling to express myself, to more like to communicate with myself. I don't want to limit those kind of expressions. So I think it's more like a freestyle poetry that I can really like being opened and really have these kind of ways to just share the world what I feel. And then if other people who enjoyed my poetry or enjoying my writing can relate to their life and their own personal experiences, I think that is the goals that I want to achieve when I want to do something. Yes.
Amazing, mashallah. So I just
Mhm.
had a conversation with someone and she always asks me this question. And a few people have come to me with this question as well. And I would love your input on it as well. So
Yes.
she says that she really wants to write, and she has this anxiety that pops up whenever she thinks of
Yes.
writing something, because this pressure comes on about everyone judging her writing or her
Yes.
ideas and things, and then this, so her anxiety comes on from that
Yeah.
aspect of it as
Yes.
well.
Yeah.
So what advice would you give to someone who feels like they want to write, but there's something
Mhm.
that keeps blocking them from expressing their true self?
Yes, I think yes. There are kinds of problems, and there are kinds of like writing blocks. It's mostly like an internal challenges that we face when we want to write something or we want to express something. But I think the most challenging part is to be able to be free to express yourself without uh without concerning other people's judgment, because nowadays we see like in social media, people are quite frank in expressing themselves in their social media, and there is no boundaries that but sometimes we can also become a very judgmental person. So we tend to judge other people without knowing their background, their stories behind the things that they do, the things that they act in their life. So I think the first thing you have to do is try to ignore all of those things. When people give bad opinion, or people give bad comments about what you do or what
Mm.
you write, I think you should learn to give boundaries to all of that. So try to ignore that, because it's just an opinion. It's not it's not a whole like a fact. It's just other people's opinion. And we cannot we don't have any ability to tell what people want to think, to tell people what to have opinion about us. So all the things that we have to do to give those kind of boundaries, try to ignore them. And then the most important thing, that you can express yourself truthfully to other people, but you also have to be able to be accountable for the things that you're expressing. So
Mm.
there are also obligation not to hurt other people's, to use your voice in a proper way. So I think if we've met that other people think our work is not really good, or they don't really give appreciation for the things that we do, I think the things that we have to do first is to give boundaries and try to ignore them. Yes.
I love that. I love that so much. So there's like a twofold, right? There's like
Yes.
doing the internal boundary
Yes.
and giving yourself space, the space
Yeah.
that you need to express yourself truly.
Yes.
But then
Mhm.
also within that, it's not free for you to say anything that hurts
Yeah.
other people, right? So kind of like that balance of doing what is right, but also
Yes.
standing in your truth in a way that is strong as well to you. And that's really beautiful. Thank you.
Yeah.
So Jazakallah khair. And now, so for the title of the program, I think there was a word joy in it, right? So was it
Yes.
writing with joy? Like, what was the name
Yes.
of the program again? I'm sorry.
Writing for Happiness. It's an
Writing for
online
happiness.
writing platform entitled Writing for Happiness. Yes.
That's amazing. So I
Yeah.
remember when I first saw it, and I think there was a description talking about the idea of happiness and just writing and expressing, and I thought
Mhm.
that was really beautiful. Could you tell us a little bit about the program? If people wanted to join it, how would they connect with you? How would,
Mhm.
like, what would they expect, inshallah?
Yes. So like I've mentioned that I help millennials to master anxiety and stress through my creative writing program. So basically that I teach basic ways to do writing. So I think the most common ways to learn writing is through journaling. So for me, for myself, because this is the first thing that I do when I was in my primary school. I do journal a lot. So I think it is the easiest way for people who wants to start their writing journey. So with writing journals every day to build these kind of like habits, and then to gain benefits from doing these activities disciplinedly and then regularly, I think those habits will develop into other parts of writing that you can learn. So after you learn journaling, you can also learn poetry, how to write a poetry. And then if you can learn how to write poetry, you can develop into writing short story. So in my community, online community, we've planned to have like this 7-day journaling challenge, perhaps in November, but I'm still developing this program. But for Indonesian people, who wants to incorporate both of how to journal but using English. So I use these two methods, how to do journaling and then how to practice your learning English through journaling. So we will going to have this program on November, but still for local students. But I think in Southeast Asia, we also have Malaysia and also we have Singapore. People who usually speak Malay and Indonesian is quite similar. So I'm open to those kind of two countries who understand Indonesian and also English. So yeah, hopefully in November, we will start our program launching. It's for free. And I'm hoping that I can gain lots of participants from it, and people who join as participants can gain benefit from the program. Inshallah.
Inshallah, that's amazing. So you have like a jump start, like a 7-day journaling activity and a
Right. Yeah.
challenge. That's
Yes.
amazing. And you're so right as well about how journaling is literally just getting the words out. I know so many of the times we stress even about how to journal.
Yes.
There's so many different methods. There's so many
Yes.
different guidelines to doing it, but it's just doing it right.
Yes.
So that's such a beautiful thing, because now what you're doing is you're getting people to pen to paper, metaphorical, literal,
Yeah.
and then you're getting them to do that and then practice it, and then you swerve them into different arts of writing, mastering
Yes.
different parts like the poetry and the short story as well, which is
Yes.
not easy. It's not easy to write short stories.
Yes,
So
it is.
is this going to be an ongoing thing? Is it going to be every year in November, or is it just in 2024? Because right now this is before November. So
Yes.
yeah.
So yes, basically it is a 7-day journaling challenge. So it
Okay.
is like 6 days activities and 1 day for evaluation. So, but probably I will give extra time for people to complete the objective of these activities and this challenge, because I from my perspective and also my experiences, it's not easy to start journaling, especially for those who probably don't have any writing or journaling background. So it is really, really hard. So I give like flexibility for the students to accomplish the task that I will be given. And then hopefully in those kind of like maybe 10 days or maybe in 14 days, I will give feedback for their work. And I really hope that when they accomplish their task and then they can accomplish their challenges, they really, really can gain lots of benefits from journaling, because it's really, really a really good activities, and I hope people can learn more about journaling itself in the future.
Yes, me too. Me too. So would this be so the program, would it be every year in November? Is it like an ongoing program people can join, or is it time constrained?
So it's only time constraints. It's only
Okay.
in this year, but
Oh,
probably
2024. Okay.
yes, 2024. But probably in the future, I can do lots of other challenges besides
Okay.
doing journaling. Okay, inshallah.
Amazing, amazing. So What we'll do is, by the time that this video is out, inshallah, God willing, we will put links to the new challenges and everything that is available. But this challenge is something that gives you an idea of the work that Sister Asqarini is doing. And specifically, for the people who are listening from maybe who live in the USA or UK, can you tell us a little bit about what the writing culture is like in Indonesia?
Oh, yes, that's a good question. I think we've developed more than the previous years, but basically when you talk about writing habits, it is linked with reading habits. So we've known that these millennials and also zillennials generation, they're probably not really used to read lots of books because we get attached more with our laptop and maybe our phones and mobiles and everything. But I think if we talk about reading habits in Indonesia, we've not the superior country who reads a lot of books, but I think for most of the young generation, there are several platforms that we would like to develop our reading habits and also writing habits. So I think I'm being optimistic for this kind of like activity, reading and also writing, but certainly there's a lot of challenges that we still have lots of homework to do. And me personally, for me, that to develop this kind of like a platform, writing for happiness as an online writing community, I hope that my society here in Indonesia can really feel the importance of reading and then the importance of writing. I think if you want to develop a really good culture and then being a best generation, we should read and we should write a lot. So yeah, I hope that this will bring some hopes in the future and Indonesian generation can gain lots of benefits from those two activities in the future.
Yes, same. So, are there like writing clubs in Indonesia? Is there like book clubs? I'm sure there are, but I'd love to know, like, if we were to go on holiday or vacation to Indonesia, which I would love to do that sometime. I've heard it's so beautiful. And then you went to Indonesia, and I say that as well because subhanAllah, I know so many Indonesians here in where I am in New York, and they had a food festival, and they had this drink which was milk, and then there was avocados in it, like milk.
Yes.
It was pink and it had avocados in it, and it was so hot that day, and it was so delicious, and just all the food is so good. But anyway, right, moving away from the food aspect, but if, say, for example, a writer like myself, we went to Indonesia and we were like, okay, I want to hit the best book cafe and I want it to be like some event that is happening for writers. Like, what would I expect? What would I expect if I was to like go somewhere like that?
I think here in Indonesia, the book and the cafe phenomenon are quite distinguished, I guess. But yes, there's plenty of like wonderful concept about incorporating writing and then cafe and then to attract more young generation to come and gathering with their friends, but not only just like chit chat, but they can also read books, and maybe if they bring laptop, they can write and use the cafe as a place to brainstorm ideas and everything. But I think the problem mainly on the access itself. I mean, probably the information about this certain cafe in this certain place is not well known enough by these people. So I think there's plenty of I think there's plenty of Instagram here in Indonesia that shows this place is cozy enough for us to hang out with our friends for reading books. And there's a lot of like libraries, really good libraries here in specifically in Jakarta. capital city of Indonesia. So I think the main problem is there's not much of information or access to know where this place. So I think it's a good sign as well that we've kind of like developed this kind of like habit of reading and also writing.
Yes,
Mhm.
yes. And it sounds good. It sounds good. So alhamdulillah. So now we've talked about the purpose behind your program, Writing for Happiness.
Yes.
And there is a challenge coming up, and it's going to be something that is going to be similar to other challenges that will be coming up for people who are interested in joining.
Yes.
And specifically, did you say that these challenges are for people who are around Indonesia, Malaysia, Singapore, or are they for anyone in the world who could take
Yes.
part?
Well, initially, this program is locally for Indonesian people. So because,
Mm.
yes, unfortunately, we Indonesian, it's not quite really eloquent enough to speak English. So,
Ah,
but
okay.
basically, Writing for Happiness itself, from the start, when I established this online writing community, it is merely for international viewers. So
Mm.
basically, I share information using English, and I teach writing in using English language. But I have a coach that also gives feedbacks to the program
Mm.
that I want to develop this 7-day journaling challenge. And then he said that, why don't you try to attract more audience, local Indonesians? Perhaps
Oh.
they want to learn more about journaling, and then they
Mm.
also want to learn English. So try to
Mm.
combine those two, and probably it will attract more viewers from local from Indonesian. So yes, I have shared several information about that, and we have several participant who's on the
Mm.
waiting list. And it's quite surprise for me that there are several outside Indonesian region
Mm.
who also interested to join. So it's from
Yeah.
Malaysia, I think from Malaysia, and I think from Singapore as well. So I think
Mm.
um if they can speak, they can understand Malays, or they can understand
Mm.
Indonesian, they can join this challenge, because I will incorporate both of the languages. So I will give like materials in English, but maybe in the instructions that I will share about the challenge, I will use Indonesian
Mm.
language or probably Malay.
Oh, nice, nice. MashaAllah. So if someone was to write with happiness, how would that look?
If someone wants write
So,
about happiness, I think
so no,
um
if someone was, if the so I know they say writing for happiness, right?
yeah, yeah.
So if that was successful, I'm sure it's been successful. Like
Mhm,
the vision, like what would a person who writes with happiness and has that and has kind of embodied that feeling inside of them. They
mhm,
feel this kind of joy when they write. It
mhm,
pushes them forward. They feel like this kind of excitement.
mhm,
Like what would that look like for a person who is maybe right now
mhm,
struggling with writer's block, with
mhm,
anxiety, and so many other issues that they might be having, sadness,
mhm,
maybe even,
mhm.
and they want to write more with happiness. Like, what would that journey look like, and what would the end look like for them,
Yes, I
hopefully?
think yeah, it's quite complex, because uh when you want to achieve the objective of writing for happiness, if you want to be happy, the first thing you have to do is well, maybe you're initially in the start you are not feeling happy. You have to know that
Mm,
you have to aware of the situation that you're not feeling happy, and then
mm,
why journaling or writing poetry and then writing a short story really helps me to become a better person, to express more, and then to reduce my anxiety, to reduce my
mm,
depression and everything. um I have to be aware of those kind of unfortunate situation, kinds of like negative emotion. And then when you can be aware of that, and when you can identify all of the things that those kind of negative things that you felt, the negative emotions, then you can address it, because you already find out and you already identify what is the root cause of the problems that you're facing. So this journey will not really easily to be followed through, because you have to be brave enough to deal with those kind of negative things, because sometimes when we feel sad or depressed, we kind of like don't want to face it directly. So we usually avoid all of those kind of things. So we run away from our problems. We don't want to face those kind of problems. So when you do journaling, or you do poetry, or you do short story, it really helps you to understand more about those kind of problems. And then when you express your feelings, when you address it, and then you eventually you will find a relief, you will release those negativity, and then you will find joy. So I think it will have a step-by-step phase, phases that you have to do, but I think it's worth it. It's really worth it. So yeah, and probably to have like a mentor or a tutor will be helpful, or perhaps if you already like have this kind of like psychiatrist or anyone that could help you to be more articulate to express those kind of like emotions, and then they will give you guidance and will help you how to address it. It will be more helpful, I guess.
That's amazing. That's so true. I love that you said about you are going to experience the emotions so easily. We try and push them aside, even as writers we do it. And I
Yes.
think that's where the writer's block comes, isn't it? Because when
Yeah.
we can never really push our emotions aside. We have to kind
Yeah.
of like move through them.
Mhm.
And from what you're also sharing as well, journaling is a perfect way to do that. And then
Mhm.
there's this like you have to go through it. And I love that journaling is something that you use as well, because it's a way of separating, kind of like separating yourself from that emotion for a moment, so you can just look at it and make it
Mhm.
make sense. And then
Mhm.
you can do something else, and then you can just kind of like process it in that way, because sometimes it can get so overwhelming for our bodies that we can feel stuck, you know.
Yeah.
So I think it's amazing work that you're doing, mashallah. Allahumma barik, may Allah put so much blessings in it. I mean, accept it from you. I mean, and
Mhm.
for our listeners, we are going to have all of the details for Sister Asqarini and her amazing projects, the new ones that are coming up when you will be able to take them, inshallah. And
Yes.
Sister Asqarini, is there any any advice that you want to give to our audience today?
Yes, thank you. I think bottom line, I just want to emphasize more about the importance of writing for our self-development. So I use journaling and then writing short story and also poetry as a cathartic ways to express myself, to liberate myself from negativity. So for those who start their journey of writing, I think to join with any kinds of writing community will be helpful to get as much as a support system, those people who has the same interests in writing will be helpful, and then try to be more confident in expressing yourself. And probably I think if we can do this more often, like doing journaling and then doing short story and also doing poetry and everything, we will have a happier life. I've been in the process of benefiting journaling and also writing poetry, and then I gain a lot of advantages from it, and also because of writing, I get to know lots of international writers and getting lots of friends and also networks with everyone abroad. So I think it's really important, and I hope in the process you will find joy and happiness.
Thank
That's
you.
all.
Thank you so
Okay.
much. And Jazakallah khair for being here with us today. May Allah, as I said, bless everything that you do. I mean, accept it from you, inshallah. And all the details, like I said, will be under this video or in the speaker bio, inshallah. But you will have access to that. And have a beautiful day, everyone. Assalamu alaikum wa
Thank you so
rahmatullahi wa
much.
barakatuh.
Waalaikumsalam warahmatullahi wabarakatuh. Thank you so much.